Hello. I hope you guys saw the bloopers from earlier on. I was actually just messing around, playing on the streets, because boredom, and also because I'm supposed to be at Rhodes this week for an academic session, but your girl is exhausted and your girl is too broke to do such a thing. So, yeah, boredom galore. Anyway, so I just want to pick up from the last time. So basically from the end of 2013. And then I know that the last time I said that I would pick up from there until the end of my first degree. But I think in this video I should just finish everything. Finish it all up because I don't want to waste people's times. I actually want us to move to a point where we talk about, what then? What next? How do we move on from the depression? How do we move on from the sense of rejection and not belonging? How do you move on from those things to just accepting oneself, loving oneself, and just being comfortable with where you are? So basically, end of 2013 came, and then I went to Rhodes because, like I said, Ruth managed to, bless her soul, by the way, still. Ruth managed to get me hooked up with NSFAS, so they were able to fund me for 2014. So 2014 I returned to do my second year, so basically repeated second year because I couldn't finish it in 2013, remember. 2014 was not too bad, except that I was failing to deal with my depression. I was failing to deal with all those emotions that I had experienced in 2013. So what then ended up happening was I fell into a bit of a spiral, and because I was failing to deal with all those things and I felt as though I couldn't talk to anybody, I couldn't just share myself and just vent out to people, because that's what we need very often, just to vent. Sorry about that. So I couldn't do any of those things, and I ended up falling into alcoholism. So I basically drank alcohol to cope. I walked around with a little pink bottle. Lindy, if you're watching this, I remember when Lindy came to me, I was sitting outside Oriel with my little pink bottle. I got it from a bookstore at the beginning of 2014. I used to carry this bottle around, and she asked me, she's like, "Hey, Wena, what's with this bottle?" And obviously I got defensive. I was like, it has water, like, obviously. But I knew that it didn't have water. But when she asked me that question, I knew that I had an issue that I needed to resolve, but I didn't know yet what to do. So I went to Ruth's office. She was a warden at the time. I went to Ruth's office and I said to Ruth, "Listen, this is what's happening. I'm going through a bit. I need help. I need to know how to resolve it." And I just remember her saying to me, "You have taken the biggest part. The biggest part and the biggest step to this journey is realizing that you need help." So she's like, the biggest step you've taken is realizing that you have an issue, and now it's a matter of how do we deal with it. So Ruth suggested that I see a counselor at the counseling department, I guess, at Rhodes. So for the couple of months in that year, I went to counseling quite frequently just to explore myself. And to be very honest, that helped me quite a lot, because I don't know if any of you have ever been to a psychologist. You realize that they're not there to solve your problems, but they're there to help you think of solutions. They're there to kind of just help you and guide you, not necessarily tell you what they think you should do. They will tell you what they think is happening, but they're not going to tell you, "This is what I think you should do." A good psychologist will often guide you. But okay, what are you going to do now? How are you going to do it? What are you feeling? Why do you think you're feeling like that? How do you take charge of these feelings? How do you become in control of all these feelings of yours? So basically that's what 2014 did for me. I first started with the alcohol, but the more I went to the psychologist, the more I just realized that I needed help. I needed to talk to somebody, and I needed professional help. And I'm so glad that Ruth advised that I go see a psychologist, because I don't think I would have gone on my own had I not gotten that bit of a nudging And I think for me at that point, it was a matter of, there's always been that stigma. It's still lurking to this day. It's not as bad as it was back in the day. But there was always a stigma that people that going to psychologists were weak or something weird like that. But it's not a sign of weakness. Going to a psychologist is actually, I think somebody just farted in the background. Oh wow. You guys see, there's a person there chilling with coffee. He just farted. No. This is where I'm at right now. I'm relationshiping and people are farting in my videos. For shame. Sis, look at you. Sis.
Anyway.
Nonsense. So yeah, seeing a psychologist is not a weakness. It is a sign of strength. It's one of the biggest signs of strength that, hey, I need help and I can't do this on my own and I need a professional to assist me with this. So yeah, that was 2014, and then 2015, this is my third year now. 2015 I was a little confused in terms of what was I going to do the year after, so meaning 2016, because my degree was coming to an end in 2015 and I was like, what to do now? And obviously in 2015 I was still handling it, trying to handle it. So in 2015 I started working at the admin office. We helped with like transcripts and like the basic varsity admin applications and stuff like that. And I just remember being surrounded by just so many women that were so strong because of their own various experiences of life, their own struggles. Those are the most strong people I've ever met in my life. And I obviously wondered, what was their secret? How did they continue to be so joyful and to carry so much strength with them? But the one thing that I noticed with a lot of them was there was the constant talk about God this, God that, God took me through this, God dragged me through that. And at that point, me and Jesus were not gelling very well. Well, I wasn't gelling with Jesus. Jesus always gelled with me. He's always got my back. But I've had my times when I wasn't necessarily walking the journey with God. So yeah, I was just like, I'm so annoyed. Like, can they stop with their nonsense? But a part of me wanted to find out as well. So I was annoyed, but another side of me wanted to find out, what is this all about? So eventually I started reading here and there, listening to sermons and stuff. And I think that's where it basically began for me, just to realize that there's so much that I'm yet to go through as a person. There's so much that I'm yet to deal with, but I cannot deal with any of it on my own. And for a person that previously felt rejected by their own family and stuff like that, I needed something to hold on to. And eventually the whole concept or the whole idea of God started making more and more sense to me. So yeah, I started just doing a bit of reading, listening, and just debating with people. I was always one of those girls that would say the most awkward stuff about God just so I could trigger my Christian friends, just to see where they're at. There's always been that person. Trust me, nobody likes that person, so if you are that person, stop it. And to those people that I've done that to, I'm sorry. I was going through the very most. It's not an excuse, but I realized how bitter and horrible I was towards other Christians and just towards God as well. So yeah, but like I said, I started to explore. And then 2015 happened and I applied to different places for postgrad. I applied for journalism because I've always wanted to explore myself as a journalist, particularly for radio. So I applied for that, Dololo bursaries, Dololo funding. Everything was looking so good. There were so many options that I just remember finding out so many bursaries that I just did not get, and I kept on getting advice. Talk to these people, do this, talk to this company, and it was just not happening. So eventually Ruth again advised me that maybe I should try out the PGC thing, which I did. I gave it a shot. And yeah, 2016, I started my PGCE, and I was honestly just doing it for the sake of, because I didn't know what I wanted to do for postgrad, and also I was not finding a job. And also luckily PGCE came with funding from NSFAS. So yeah, continued with my PGCE in 2016, and then I met this girl, Elaine, in 2016. Elaine is one of those people with this quiet, beautiful strength about her. You know those people, there's so much strength without them having to say anything to you. I find it amazing, actually. So yeah, I met Elaine, and basically that kind of like kickstarted my relationship with God, because I just kept on debating with her just further and further. Eventually, towards the end of 2016, I remember she and I just had another conversation about God, and I broke down. I finally just realized, it finally dawned on me that I've needed God for so long, and I ran away from that concept for so long, and it wasn't helping me. So so for me, that's basically the most two important things that I had to do in order to get to this point. And obviously there's more to it, and I will cover that in the other videos. But those are the two first important things that happened: seeing a psychologist for professional help, and secondly, finding out about God and what was in store for me if I got into the relationship with God. For now, all I can say is it is incredible. What a thrill to know that regardless of how broken you are, regardless of the mess that you are as a person, there is this higher power. And obviously we have different higher powers as people, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm not aware that as a Christian that other people have their own gods and stuff. But for me, my God, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, has been my saving grace. So yeah, it's just been amazing to just know. And I've tripped so many times since then, even, I've fallen over and over again, but I'm constantly reminded of the love and the care that I'm being given, the grace that is just so abounding, no matter what a horrible human I can be at times, no matter how distant I can be away from God, no matter the little things that make me unworthy, And I think for me, that is the one thing I have learned from knowing God, is that I matter, no matter what. No matter the brokenness, no matter the sins, no matter the troubles I've been through, my scars, all of those things do not matter, but me. I matter. Because Jesus chose to love me first, regardless of all my faults, regardless of everything that makes me unworthy. And I hope that you all get that same concept as well, that you matter. And this applies whether or not you believe in God, to be very honest. You matter, you're still loved, you're still cared for, you're worthy of love and care and support. No matter the brokenness, no matter how terrible you can be as a person. So yeah, in the next video I will just continue to talk about some of the other lessons that I've learned along the journey, and some of my other strategies that I continue to implement on a daily basis. Because the thing with healing is it doesn't take one day. Like, it didn't take for me that moment when I realized that I needed God. It didn't just take that moment. That moment lifted off burden. But as you know, healing is a process. It happens gradually, and sometimes you're going to fall into a pit. You have to pick yourself up, and you have to find out working strategies for you in those moments. So yeah, I will tell you more and more about those strategies in the next video. And I think for now, I want to find out what works for other people so I can share with everyone as well. So be free to inbox me on Facebook. Just look for me at Sitiso Mahoti. On Twitter, it is at YouMatter, capital Y and then capital M, YouMatter095. And then on Instagram, it is also at YouMatter, no caps, at YouMatter095. And yeah, shout out, send me inboxes, comment on the comment thing there, the things. So yeah, let me know what you think, and let me know what else you think I should share on, what else you think I should talk about, because I think the most important thing for me here is that we all find our healing through the art of sharing our stories and just realizing that our past is only as important as the lessons you have learned from it. Not necessarily the past itself, but what you've picked up from it. Because if you keep on looking back at the past without picking up lessons here and there, then what are you doing? You're just the prisoner if you're not picking up lessons. If your past is not a tool to learn, you are merely just a prisoner of it. So I just hope that none of us are prisoners, and if you are, get out now. Your past shouldn't have to hold you back. Your past shouldn't have to hold you prisoner. You're so far worthy of more and just bigger and better. So yeah, let's vibrate. Let's go higher and higher. Let's explore ourselves. Let's remember that we loved, we cared for, and we matter. I'll see you guys next time. In the meantime, like, subscribe, comment, share, do the things. Love you all.